Good afternoon, everybody. Painblade back here again from Server 1, representing IEC and Tribes Lab. Sorry for the late video, guys. It's been a busy day today. I do these during work hours. So what I wanted to do today, though, is to cover something that a lot of people have been asking about, and that is with all the knowledge that I've been kind of dropping on you guys and all the showcases, what should an F2P player be focusing on? And if you're a new player, what unit should you kind of be looking at acquiring and putting your energy towards? So what I'm going to do today, guys, is I'm going to do something different. I'm going to go through as an FPE player, as an F2P player, and show you guys if I were to start over again, which I'm planning to at some point when I have more time, just to kind of do a free-to-play account, which I actually kind of do have already, but I don't really focus on it. What you should be focusing on coming into the game in terms of units and in terms of your number one priorities, right? So if you're new, or if you're just starting, or if you are currently free to play, your main focus should really be getting your standard missions done, getting your elite missions done, getting all the prizes for those, completing your Rio missions, your the EXP drills. Those should be your priorities, and then of course PvP. So PvP is where most of your Omni shards are going to come from, as well as your Shino coins. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of go through every unit. I'm going to do from URs to SRs to Rs, and I'm going to just highlight a few units for you guys, just so you guys know if you're starting brand new or if you want to re-roll, kind of what direction you should take, right? So let's jump into it, guys. I'm going to go into the Shinobi list here. As you know, I have every unit in the game, so don't worry about the power levels and awakening. I'm going to actually switch it up here to rarity, and we're going to go from the top down, okay? So from a UR perspective, if you're starting brand new and you're re-rolling, there are 4 units that you really want to have. Okay, so those 4 units from a UR perspective that'll last you at 3 stars for still up to this date, even if you're a high-end player, is going to be Sasuke Hebi. And the reason why is because he's the only unit in the game that has 2 stuns, and he's still viable at 3 stars no matter any which way you look at it. He's going to be probably your best PvP unit. Kakashi is your other one. Now, for lower end players, he's going to be your go-to guy for arena. And what you want to do is you want to roll for him, and you want to make sure when you do get him, he is viable at 3 stars. You want to complete his vitality skill 1 when you have it unlocked. I think it's level 40 or 41, right over here. You want to make sure that is level 20. There is a vitality video. Go ahead and watch that if you want to know how to level it properly, but that is going to be your number one goal, is to get that to 20 so you can instant jutsu and pretty much one-shot anybody. Now, he still applies to every tier level of player. So if you're a high-end player to a low-end player, Kakashi is going to be your bread and butter for PvP, as well as Sasuke Hebi. Now, there are 2 other units that I highly recommend to get, and that is going to be Sasuke Kirin, which is the Sasuke Uchiha Heavy Black costume one. And the reason why you want to get him, guys, is because he's probably one of the best AoE units in the game because of his skills. What Kirin does is it actually paralyzes opponents, it does damage reduction rate for the rest of the battle on those 3 active opponents, and it also does extra damage on D units. Now, D units, if you're new, are tank units, and they're a lot harder to kill, so you definitely want somebody who is considered a tank killer, and he's probably the ultimate tank killer in the game. Not only that, but his second skill, this is my Vendetta, actually reduces damage reduction rate by a certain percentage for the rest of the battle for all enemies. That is so key, guys. Like, these 3 units right now have probably the best second skills in the game. So definitely get those guys in your roster if you can. So if you were new, I would re-roll until you get at least 2 of the 3. If you get 3 of the 3, that's even better. That's really hard to do, but at least get 2 of the 3 at 3 stars minimum. Well, that's all you're going to be able to get anyways. And then lastly, Gaara. Now, Gaara 3 stars, not that good. There are a lot better URs. The 3 I mentioned are going to be your primary, but having Gaara is important because you want to get him as the first 4-star UR you can get. And the reason why is because of his last trait, his 4th trait, which is the best trait in the game for a UR. It boosts all active allies' damage reduction rate, as well as boosting their guard rate up by a certain amount of percentages at the start of the turn. And when you get his Limit Break 2, he boosts all active allies' defense for the rest of the battle at the start of his turn. Now, that is the ultimate defense. Now, there's a reason why Gaara has that nickname, in the show and in the anime and the manga, but he also is that in the game. So he will be the best you are at 4-star, hands down. But for the 3 stars, you'll want to focus on the first 3 that I just mentioned. The rest of them you can ignore. I mean, the only other one I'd really, if you get him, it's still good, is Deidara. And the reason why is because he is the ultimate crit buffer, and he also does crit suppression. So he will actually boost your crit character's crit rate up, as well as he will lower your opponent's critical suppression rate down. So that's super important, guys, for someone who's going to be building a new crit team. So he's probably the ultimate crit buffer, but he's not a necessity, okay? So I would definitely prioritize the 3 first URs I mentioned, which are the 2 Sasukes and the Kakashi, and then maybe a Gaara over getting the Dara. All right, so those are the URs if you're brand new, and if you're focusing on if you're thinking about who do I build on, those are my recommended 4 or 5 URs that you should really primarily focus on. All right, now we're going to go into SRs. Now, SRs for free to play are going to be your bread and butter in terms of most of your roster, right? Because you can actually farm these. Now, you can farm URs using joint exercises, and you can get UR frags now from the Orochimaru shop, which isn't free to play friendly, so I don't recommend it, but you can also get them from these new events. But the SRs, you can actually farm them from elite missions. Now, there are a lot of SRs to choose from. There's quite a big roster now, but there are a few that I want to highlight more than others, okay? So, first one I want to highlight, and probably the most important one, is Mama Sakura. Now, Sakura Uchiha, as also known as Mama Sakura, is probably, in my opinion, the best SR in the game. She should technically be a UR, in my opinion, but you know what? She is what she is, and she's easier to farm because of it. Now, what makes her so special is that she offers you a full kit. She offers you an AoE stun. She offers you the ability to do lower enemies' attack by a certain percentage for 2 turns. She also has the ability to increase your damage reduction rate for 1 turn, right? That's already 3 things right there. She also does recover all HP for all allies based on her attack percentage, so put her in force to get a higher boost. And she also boosts all allies' attack when she's active for that turn, and she boosts all allies' damage increase rate. So that is pretty much every possible buff you probably want. And the only thing she's missing here is probably crit. So she's the most reliable and I think probably most useful character in the game because of her kit. So definitely, guys, focus on her. Now, in terms of farming her, you have one opportunity only, unfortunately, and that is to farm her with the Elite Mission 6-3. So she takes a little longer. But keep in mind, guys, she is a long-term character, so definitely put focus on her. So that's my number 1 recommendation for SR character. Second one is going to be Hinata. Now, shout out to Benato and Screwston for these guys. I know they love hearing it, so I'm going to just say it. This is one of their favorite characters, and rightfully so. Now, Hinata actually can be farmed on 3 different stages. Now, let's go through the elite missions. As you see, 3-3, 8-3, and 12-3, and then she can be summoned. But the beauty of Hinata is she's the best crit character in the game, and probably one of the easiest accessible characters to get. So my recommendation is definitely farm her, and then reset these missions at least once. It'll cost you 90 total Shino coins, but you can get 18 of her fragments daily, which means you'll be able to awaken her really quickly to 7 stars if you just keep doing that on a daily basis. Outside of that, the reason what makes her so good is she's the only buff character with crit that buffs herself as high as she does, and she also offers critical damage to herself. So check out her kit and check out my video on her, and you'll see why she's an amazing character. I've done videos on all these guys, so you guys can always go back and take a look at those. So far, Mama Sakura, Hinata. Another one that's really good is Boruto, and he also has 2 locations to farm. Take a look here. Now, Boruto as a unique character is a nuke and a buffer. He's a pretty big time nuke too, if you can keep his HP at a certain percentage or if he goes first. The good thing about Boruto is he also does an attack buff for the cell that he's in. So definitely one of the stronger characters, one of the easiest ones to get. And when you get him up stat-wise, he can actually have the same stats as a UR character. So definitely focus on him. He's actually really easy to get. So I would definitely focus on him if you're an F2P. Now, what we've done is we've covered 1 T character, 2 A characters. Now, a lot of people sleep on the character I'm about to talk about right now and have for a long time, and I never understood why, but Yamato. Now Yamato is one of the first characters you get in the game. What makes him such a good tank? First off, he's a D unit. Is that he is pretty much the ultimate crit suppression tank in the game. He covers anyone who's using a crit team, which is a very popular team. This man pretty much has the ability to block a lot of that crit damage coming in. As you can see here, his Jitsu increases all allies' crit suppressions and boosts allies' guard rate as well too. So he does double the defense for you guys. So I highly recommend, if you have Yamato, guys, put a little bit of focus on him. He's a dark horse in the game that a lot of people did ignore, and his new Limit Break 2 is actually phenomenal. So definitely work on him. You can actually farm him in 3 different stages as well. There you go, right there. And they're fairly easy stages to get to. So that's your first D character that I would focus on. The other D character you can focus on is Guy. Now, Guy is a little more offensive. If you're looking for a good mix of offense and defense, Guy is your guy. Guy, no pun intended, is your guy to go to. Now, the reason why he's so good is he's fast, first off, so speed-wise, you're gonna have a really fast character. But he also offers you damage reduction rate for all allies. He also offers you a burn on the opponent, which can be good in higher end content. And he also offers you himself counter rate. Now, the way counter rate works, guys, is he has a certain percentage to give damage back to the opponent whenever he gets hit. Now, his LB2, his Limit Break 2, also offers something new. To him, that is, at least. And that is, let's just load it up here. I haven't got it yet because I haven't been working on him too much, but if you look here, he also boosts damage reduction rate even further for the 3-man cell. So if you do his Jitsu, it stacks onto his Limit Break 2. So Guy's actually become a lot better as a tank as well as offense. So that's 2 A units, 1 T unit, 2 D units. The other A unit you can focus on that's easy to get is going to be Naruto. Now Naruto is a hybrid nuke and tank. He is self-sufficient. He only buffs himself, but he's easy to farm. You've got, I believe, 3 stages for Naruto as well. There you are. And his skill set provides you the ability to nuke, get chakra back if you kill somebody, increase his own defense and offense when an ally has been defeated, which is really good. And also he has the ability to do his own damage reduction rate for the rest of the battle. So Naruto is actually a great choice, guys, if you're looking for a good hybrid character with the abilities to block incoming damage, but yet dish it all out. And he's easy to farm. So same scenario as Hinata, guys. If you guys want to farm him in Yamato fairly quickly, use a 90 Shuno coins a day, farm the character that you're looking for. I highly recommend that's what you should be focusing your Shuno coins on, is stamina and that, more than summoning, because that's the easiest way to get these characters up. And I promise you, SRs can get really high in damage and in power level. Alright, so Naruto's another good one to go with. Now, there's a couple others here we can talk about. If you're looking for a really good healer and you're brand new, the new Sakura Blossom is great, but the banner itself sucks, so I don't recommend pulling for her. But you can pull for old Sakura, which is Sakura Harano here with Cherry Blossom Brilliance. And what makes her really good is the fact that she has a decent heal, but she also helps D units and A units survive with adding defense to their buff list, right? So the reason why I'm saying that is if you look at her skills here, she actually boosts allies' defense for 1 turn by quite a bit. It's 67.35. Now, 1 turn is not a very good amount, but it can be life or death sometimes in terms of low end PvP. High-end PvP, she doesn't do very well, so you probably won't have it on your list, but for free-to-play players who are just coming in, she's actually a good character to have, especially if you're lacking D units or if you need more defense. So I do recommend on using her a little bit. She does increase chakra as well with her skill 2, and also her skill 1, she recovers HP for all allies and also boosts all allies defense at the start of her turn. Okay, so she does give you a little bit of a buffer here, guys. So if you don't have Mama Sakura and you need a healer, or if you don't have the new Blossom Sakura, she's a good choice at low-end PvP and also PvE, but I don't recommend her at high-end PvP. All right? And then Honestly, you have a couple other characters here. Of course, you got Tsunade as a healer, who's great. A little harder to farm. She's at the higher end of the scale. Orochimaru, who is amazing as a tank and a crowd control character. Again, a little harder to farm. Do I recommend him? Absolutely. He's a very unique character because he's the only character with silence right now. So he is definitely on top of the list, but he's just harder to farm. So I'm not putting focus on him that much either. Neji's another one, as well as Rock Lee, who are all very, very good characters, guys. But it's a free-to-play player, and as someone who is coming in brand new, these are going to be characters you're not going to see for a while, right? So I'm giving you guys characters who you should focus on right from the get-go, who will take you pretty far. Another one, too, is Kabuto. Now, Kabuto is unique as a T character. I have covered a couple A's, D's, and this is the other T that I want to mention. And Kabuto actually helps lower defense for the opponent for the rest of the battle. And he also has a heal the lowest HP on your team with 2 different skills. And he also has, if somebody has a status ailment such as poison or burn, he does extra damage. So or stun as well. So he's actually phenomenal for damage, and he's a pretty decent offhand healer. So definitely Kabuto is easy to farm. He does have one section you can farm him, which is one stage here. But the beauty about Kabuto is you can actually get him every hour and a half from the Orochimaru shop for, I believe it's 100,000 Ryu. So definitely work on him, guys. He will take you pretty far in the game. He has yet to have his limit break too, but when he does, I think it'll be really good. So Kabuto is another one I recommend. All right, so let's jump into rares. Now, rares are interesting. There are a couple that are still viable and a couple who you should completely ignore. Okay, so we're going to just go with the ones you should completely ignore. Ignore Ino. You can work on Choji if you want. I don't recommend it. The best ours are Mitsuki, because he offers a second skill stun. He's fast, and he also offers a heavy wound as an AoE. And he also has a Wicked LB2 now, which lowers the attack and defense of opponents, which I think he's the best rare in the game. The other one is Kiba. Now, what makes Kiba unique? He's a glass cannon. If you don't know what glass cannon is, he does a ton of damage, but he can't take damage himself. But if he's fast, so you can use him, and he's the only other instant jutsu user besides Kakashi. If you max this out and use his skills, he actually does insane damage. So I highly recommend him as well too. And Tenten is the only other person that I would recommend on rares because she has an AoE stun, increases attack, and is the only character with guard suppression. So she's great against tanks. So those are the characters I recommend, guys, as a free-to-play player. Your other focus should be on raising your speed in the game if you're new. So using the summon times 10 Rio shop is your main go-to. Make sure you use that as much as you can. You want to get your speed up as fast as possible for PvP, and for veteran players, use that as well. And of course, focus on your vitality and your gear and your skills. All right, guys, that's everything from Pain. I hope that helped out. We'll talk soon. I got to get back to work. Have a good one.